Future bestsellers. We are super, super happy. Whoa, I just bonked my microphone. We are super, super happy to see you guys today. I am ready to write. We have it's funny because just as Robert and I came on, and Robert, Michelle, and I came on, we were talking about I had something awesome on my doorstep when I came back from the grocery store this morning. So I'm gonna do a little unboxing. And then Robert was like,
I have something awesome that arrived the other day, and I have the box beside me, but I'm using it for the first time today. So
I'm
we'll get
super
to that
excited.
in due course.
I'm super excited. And then Michelle's like, I shall check the van for something awesome.
I've got nothing.
Let's just put a bow on Rosa and unbox her. I just
Oh,
think alike.
yeah.
So let's do our intros while we're here. We might as well. So I'm going to start with you, Michelle. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
Right. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I write young adult and middle grade novels, and my channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Blogs.
Thank you so much for being here. As always, Robert, tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
Well, my channel is The Story Detective, and I put various forms of storytelling under a Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft in minute detail and give it to the viewer to hopefully make their craft journey easier. And new videos are in the works. I just need to get a little free from some of the other stuff I'm working on in order to actually film them.
So this is kind of funny. We were talking a little bit about this, and I want to talk about this idea of like just being overwhelmed with your to-do list of all the things that we must all constantly do. So that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today, and maybe talk about some strategies for making that a little better. But there are times, and I will say I'm definitely feeling this, like in the last couple of weeks especially, where I just feel like buried in my to-do list. Buried in my to-do
Yes.
list. Avi says, "Hi friends, there's no box big enough to contain Rosa. She is a gift, though. Love, 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 love that." Did I already introduce? Did I already introduce myself? I can't remember. If not, hi, I'm Lisa Daly. I'm your host today. Actually, we're all hosts today. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. And I am very excited to get stuff going today because yesterday I ran into a little snag again with today's topic, the massive to-do list that threatens to eat you alive. I realized yesterday I'm leaving for Readers Take Denver in a week, and I had not ordered my books yet, which is way late. And some of them I had stock of at home, so I should be fine. But there's a one title at least that I know I'm going to need more of, and then there's another one where I have not, or I don't have any in stock, and so I was trying. Amazon was going to be too late. And so Barnes and Noble with the little shipping bump is going to be able to do it on time. But then there was some file issue yesterday because I'm doing a special edition. Like it was just like I was just grinding and starting to feel super overwhelmed. So I want to talk about handling that kind of stuff. All right, let's say hi to our friends in the chat today. Hello, RC. Here first today. Very nice. Very nice. Good morning, Devin. So glad to see you. Victoria, we are super happy you are here today. Daisy's here. Look at us. We got a great crowd today. Daisy's here. We are super glad to see you. Swinton, good morning. Avi's here. Regina here. Hello. Super glad to see you today. Maz is here. Good afternoon from Maz to Maz. Hello, Miss Texas G. We are super glad to see you today. John is here, back later, going to eat. Thanks for letting us know, John. We appreciate it. I know, right? I too am going to eat. I ran out and got breakfast this morning. And when I came back, there was a giant package waiting for me. So when we come back from our first sprint, I'm going to open it and tell you guys what it is. I'll probably do a little pre-open just so you don't have to watch me like stabbing at it with pictures. But I know what it is, and I'm super excited. So
I'll show you what it is.
I know, right? We'll do all our exciting reveals when we come back from our warm-up sprint. Before we go, you guys let us know what you're going to be working on in the chat today, and we'll talk about it when we come back. What are you going to be working on today, Robert?
I'm going to be working on my own manuscript today. I'm far enough ahead on the client stuff. old deadline habits are kicking in. So I usually push ahead a little bit. And once I start to feel in the zone and a comfort zone and border that I'm far enough ahead, then I can start working on other things and integrating, which is what I'm doing today.
Yay,
Nice.
good job. How about you, Michelle? What are you working on today?
I've got a ghostwriting project outline. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. I am going to be working still on edits and trying to resolve my Barnes and Noble file issue. They did like go down for maintenance yesterday, almost immediately after I was having problems. So I'm kind of wondering if that was related. I hope it was, and that it's all fixed this morning. But yeah, there's that. So I'm going to try to do that. I have been, well, we'll talk more about this after the break, actually. Okay, let's do our 5-minute warm-up sprint. We don't want to. We'll talk coping mechanisms later. All right, everybody. So we're going to start with 5 minutes on the clock. You can use this time to open up your document, get yourself ready to write today, or to do whatever, edit, or doing whatever you're going to do today. Get a nice giant vat of caffeine or your breakfast or whatever else. And we're going to put 5 minutes up on the clock, and that starts right now. Here we go. Getting ready for our first sprint in 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, we are back. Let us know in the chat what you guys are working. I realized I just did not put a banner up, so anybody who was coming in late just saw a bunch of us with a timer with no helpful information at all. Okay, so let us know in the chat, you guys, what you are working on today. I am going to be taking care of I have client work, and I'm trying to solve this thing with Barnes and Noble and a million other things. So yeah, so that's what I will be doing today, author stuff. But first, I got a big package, and I'm super excited. We can't even see it. So I'm going to start opening it. And while I'm doing that, Robert's going to tell you about his super secret surprise that he's got going today. Oh, sorry. Oh, I just put this on the dog. Sorry, Odie.
Oh, no. Poor Odin.
I know. He jumped off the chair.
The box
Ooh,
recognizes the name, but it's a fairly elegant looking box that it came in.
it is.
Are you guys package nerds too? Like
Yeah.
I did half my video on the Osio keyboard was about how much I love their packaging because I'm such a dork. Okay, sorry,
I
Robert.
love a good unboxing. And inside was this, which is the Quirky Writer. This is
That
their
is
limited
gorgeous.
edition.
It is.
And once I saw the black and gold, I knew I had to grab this one. I've wanted one of these for a while. It's actually solid
Oh my
metal.
God.
It's not plastic, which is nice.
Wow.
The keys feel really tight. It's mechanical and very clacky. So
Mm.
the knobs work. One, you can program them for whatever you want, but right now, like one adjusts volume and the other one scrolls. The little tab actually is a return thing if you want to hit it like a typewriter.
Get
So it's
out. I love that.
probably as much like a typewriter as any keyboard that I've had so far.
That's incredible.
Not exactly cheap, but it's nice.
No.
It feels really
Yes.
nice. So,
What is that?
Oh my God.
I know you said not exactly cheap, but what does that run?
this one was about $300. You can get the regular one for $199 on Amazon, which is just their average version. But the special editions run a little bit more. And they come out with them like once a year. I think last year they had like a pink and a mint color. This year they have a white and a black with gold.
Well, pink and mint sounds like Lisa.
It does
Yeah.
sound like Lisa, doesn't it?
It
I know
was
you.
retro, like a 1950s car. So
That's cool.
Oh, I love that. I totally love that. All right. I really, that's absolutely fantastic. Pink
Yeah.
and mint. That's for me, man. All right. Hopefully I don't just scrape it. Oh, it's on the back.
Looks really sharp too.
I know, right?
a lot of
I-
tape.
So how's the feel of it, Robert?
It feels really nice as far as mechanical keyboards. I mean, they all have a nice sense of travel and clockiness, but I have to say, you know, the Asios have been my favorite so far. This one actually feels a little bit tighter. I'm not sure if that's because of the keys or the switches, but it has a really good feel. I like it.
I love that.
Aside from the, you know, the keys where the type like little fingers or whatever would come up in a typewriter. There are typewriters in the past that were pretty flat like this.
Right.
A couple of typewriter collecting things that are on the internet, and I've seen the history of like various typewriters, and they were making them just like keyboards and computers today, where they would get smaller, more compact. There's one that's even flat that's a couple of inches tall that fits in a little metal case. If I ever find one of those in good condition, I'd like to add one of those to my keyboard museum because there's some stuff out there that I never knew about.
That is awesome. I love that you say keyboard museum because I know that you are a huge like keyboard fan / collector.
Yeah,
and
if I
that
could
we
have a display case with like computers and keyboards throughout history, I think I would have like a little museum just because there's so much interesting stuff out there throughout typewriters, the early computers, and I have a few early word processors and computers, but there's a lot out there that I'd never have room for if I wanted to buy them all.
I love that. All right, this thing is still in its saran wrap, but it has escaped its steel. It's
Wow. Oh my gosh, it's huge.
it is huge.
Cool.
It is huge. It'll go. It's the
That's
same
awesome.
size. Huh? Would
It's
you sorry,
awesome.
would you say? Thank you. So I'm working on the videos for my course right now, and I wanted to have the book cover behind me like I do, for my other books. So yeah, so anyway, so I'm super excited about it. Also, there's something about having a giant canvas of your book cover that for me at least makes me feel like super
Yeah, that's really cool.
inspired, and yeah, I love that.
You want
Um
your studio to have all the things that you've done that inspire you, and that's
yeah.
that's a cool thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is so this is not the first one that I have done. I use this place called Canvas Champ, and it's like as inexpensive to get like a giant canvas, on a hard frame. It costs the same amount that it would cost to like do like a big poster at Kinko's. It's like usually, I mean, they have sales all the time. It's like I spent between $25 and $40. Like it's really inexpensive. And it
Wow.
feels like, right, your book covers feel like art. So for me, I love it. All right, let's go through through comments. Miss Texas G also wants that keyboard. I do too. I especially want it now that I understand that it comes in mint green and pink. um, so probably not. Probably sales tax is going to be sort of the thing. Devin loves that old look. I do too. Daisy says, I stumbled upon the keyboard community on YouTube. Didn't realize Robert was a part of it. Is that a thing?
Yeah, people collect keyboards and typewriters and retro stuff, and there's a couple on Instagram that have like retro typewriters and older things that they're demonstrating them all the time. These guys just it's their passion, and they have like pristine looking typewriters that I would never imagine existed. It's like really nice.
Love that. I love that. Love that. Regina gets the Eagle Eye Award today. Is that a bust of Sherlock Holmes in your background? Story Detective says
Yep,
yes,
there's various
absolutely.
home stuff that you don't see around the room, and even some stuff in the closet that's not currently on display. So
I love that. I love that. Oh, Miss Swift is here. Hello. We are super glad to see you today. All right, everybody. Well, now that we've done our little unboxing, Michelle, Michelle, at the very beginning of the stream, Robert and I were like, Michelle, you're going to have to just look around the van for something. Just put a bow on, we'll just put a bow on
The
Rose.
crackers. You want to unbox them?
Ooh, unbox a box of crackers.
yes.
Love it.
About
I
it.
don't think it's ever been done on the stream before. It probably has actually. We're a group of snackers. Okay, so let's do. Oh, here we go. So Hippio Tech does videos just on keyboards and has 1 million subscribers. That, my friends, is a really great example of the whole idea of niches to grow riches, like
Yeah.
that if you really focus in on something, that's where you find your audience. That works for books too. So very nice. I love that. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do our first 20-minute sprint, and when we come back, we are going to talk about doing all the things and the kind of stress around that and how to like deal with the feeling of overwhelm. But first, we're going to do some writing sprints. We're going to just clear our little brains out and just write like the wind for 20 minutes. So here we go. Getting started with our very first sprint today, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's hit it. All right, welcome back, everybody. Let me get rid of this little thing. So let us know in the chat if you have not already what you are going to be working on today. How was your first sprint, Michelle and Robert?
It was good.
Pretty good.
That's good. Glad to hear it. Ditto for me. How about you guys? Let us know. I thought this was funny. Avi had said that you have your brand on lock. Sherlock, retro typewriters, keyboards, lightsabers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very nice. So, our topic today is what to do when you feel like you're buried by your to do list. I know it's not just me. I know everybody feels this way at some point. What do you do aside from like getting into bed and eating those special Heath bar cookies from Publix, as an example? So what do you guys do when you're feeling that sort of overwhelm?
Well,
Lately, the first thing go ahead, Robert.
No, you go ahead. I've got a bit of a story, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know why, but my logic used to be that I needed to tackle the biggest thing first, but I've realized that if I pick the thing that's going to be the fastest, then I can start crossing things off my list. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it used to be like I didn't want to save the big thing for last, but now I'm more in a place of, well, if I can just knock the smaller stuff off first, then the list looks shorter and I feel less overwhelmed.
Right. And you've had a couple of big wins.
Yeah.
There's a sort of popular business book that's called something like Eat the Frogs, that the idea behind it is basically like that you do the thing that you're dreading first, because then you get it done, and because his theory is that you're wasting a lot of emotional energy and psychological energy on not doing the thing and just dreading it and putting it off and feeling guilty for putting it off and doing all that stuff. And I think there's some truth to that. I really think there's some truth to that. So thank you. That's very good advice. Robert, what were you about to say?
I got some people mowing the lawn, so hopefully it doesn't.
Okay.
We'll get back to my story in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. So I think that's excellent advice. I will say that I had worked with a rapid resolution therapist. I don't know, probably 8 years ago, when I was really struggling with writing. And what he had said basically was that when and I've mentioned this on the stream before, when you're really overwhelmed or super stressed out, that your brain needs kind of a break, and that you should take 3 days where you're basically doing nothing. And the reason that it's 3 days instead of like 2 is that your brain doesn't really start to like relax until the 3rd day, which is why a 3-day weekend feels like a little mini vacation, but a regular weekend just feels like an opportunity to get crap done around the house. And that's the big difference. So I did that this past weekend. I did not work. I worked a little bit on Monday evening, but I did not work for the majority of Monday, because I just felt so burned out by my massive to-do list. And I do think it helped some, for sure. When I came back yesterday, like, I was really very much raring to go, but I also feel like very overwhelmed by the amount of stuff I have on my to-do list. So, John says, eat the frog. Just eat the frogs. Overwhelm, is this a word? Ha. But yeah, so for me, that was it. Like, I sort of took the break, and then, like Michelle, like I tend to go with sort of quick wins first, but now I'm to the point like where I have so many things on my list and so many things that need to be done by a certain date that now I'm having to like reprioritize them. So, all right. I don't hear any lawnmowers, Robert. Would you like to weigh in?
Now, so yeah, same kind of thing. And since I just came off the winter hiatus and working on the draft of my own thing, and I just barely got back on the internet with a project that was slated for a client in April, and I immediately got like 3 other things and chapters to analyze. So I'm like, oh gosh. So I did the same thing. I did the chapter analysis first, got rid of the small stuff, and then I spent a solid week pushing ahead on the bigger thing, and moving forward with that, because that's what I used to do. The deadline thing, working monthly deadlines for years, has taught me that I need to move ahead to save myself that anxiety. So getting that done as quickly as I can, getting that margin of safety and sanity,
Right.
and then I'm really good at marking off how much I actually have to get done per day beyond that, and just chunk it out.
Yeah.
Don't do too much over. There's some days where I can, but then that can lead to burnout. So if I divide it into those sections, just keep working away at it. I've rarely ran late on a deadline doing that. So
That, in other words, time blocking, which is what
yes.
that's generally called.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that's a really fantastic solution. And the other thing I think when you're doing that is to just make sure that you're prioritizing the things that are most important to you. Because I know, like, when I feel stressed out, I love to head on over to Canva and make some graphics. And then before you know it, it's been 17 hours and I haven't gotten the rest of my to-do list done. But everybody's got brand new graphics. And it's just like, it's just your brain like wanting, like needing some sort of space to relax. Love that. All right. So Avi's got some stuff, reward tier systems. Oh yeah. Right. Bundle. Have you, I keep hearing this about this a lot. Like I've read several articles in the last, even just a couple of weeks about essentially bundling the thing you don't want to do, like going for a run every morning, with something that you love, like listening to a particular podcast, that you don't let yourself do the thing you're dreading until, or you don't let yourself do the thing that you want until you pair it with the thing that that you really need to get done. Reward tier systems work for Avi. I'll have rewards based on how much I get done. Watch an episode of Downton Abbey. If I get 3 items done, ice cream sundae. If I get 5 things done, nice. So when you're finished with Downton Abbey, The Gilded Age is written by the same guy, but it's all about like New York society. You'll love it. It hits all the same notes though. Different country, same notes. But I love that. Avi also said, before I tackle any huge to-do list, I take a few minutes to take the island breath, because mindset is super important for follow through. The island breath. I absolutely love that.
Yes.
Love. Yeah. And I do this some too. Like, one of the things that I realized really early on in my career was that I used to write all week. And if I made my word count, I would write on Friday at the beach. And then I realized I write twice as fast at the beach. And so if I wrote at the beach every day, I could essentially double my word count for the week. But also it made it so much more enjoyable to write. And so, like, just that was sort of just a natural way of doing that. Now I'm like, oh, I have editing today, so I should do that floating in my pool, because I have this big, like, giant floaty thing that keeps you above the water. So not only does it not have to be like crazy warm, and the water doesn't have to be warm, but also I'm pairing something. I actually love editing. That's pairing 2 things I like. That's like if I said I'm going to edit while floating in the pool and drinking a strawberry daiquiri. I couldn't get any happier than just right there. Okay. Fantastic. So Ms. Texas G has a great question. Working on the last few chapters of a rom-com, I do have a question. It's about swearing. None, or is some okay? So this is going to be sort of some is always okay. Well, some is generally okay, but mostly with romantic comedies, weirdly enough, is that the amount of swearing, acceptable swearing to the reader, correlates with the amount of sex that is okay for the reader. So if you're writing a clean romance or closed door romance, then you're going to keep the swearing level down. But if it's smutty, if you've got steamy romance scenes where you're actually, getting into the nitty gritty of things, then swearing, not just in the sex scenes, but in the rest of the book, is more accepted. So hopefully that helps. Oh my gosh, we just got like a massive group of comments all at the same time. Okay, so John says the setting is important. I like to have people's energy around when I write, like a library or cafe. Love that. It's funny too, people who've never written in public often think that the noise will distract them, but I always find that it just sort of fades into this kind of white noise.
Exactly. In my
background.
own space, that kind of noise would drive me crazy, but in public, it has the exact opposite effect.
Right.
It's an
I think it's
odd
because,
but
yeah, I think it's because you don't know those people and you don't have to care about them. Like, there's no, like, if your cat comes in, you're going to want to know what your cat wants. Or if Georgie comes in, you're going to want to know what, like, what does she want? Same thing, with me and Michelle and everybody else, right? When Odie's here, he's going to command some attention. But if you're at a bookstore, then the people talking over at the next table, unless they're being really loud and obnoxious, you're probably not even going to know. It's all just fades into the background. I always find it really helpful to write at a place like that. I do love to write often I'll go write like at a restaurant at the beach, so I get like the beautiful view. But I also get, a steady stream of French fries. All right. Maz says rewards don't work for me. My brain only works with real deadlines. Some of us are just hardwired with like a deadline mentality. Maz, though, you can never let yourself miss a deadline ever, because if you do, and the world doesn't come to an end, and I'm not saying that's true, the world will absolutely come to an end if you miss your deadline. But let's say hypothetically that you were a super deadline driven person and that some stuff happened that caused you to miss a deadline and that you never felt that urgency again. So do not ever let yourself miss a deadline. I don't know if that was a good advice or not. I'm just telling you what happens. Avi loves riding at the beach. Right? Yes. This is why I have the timer, so I can just channel that all the time. Miss Texas G says there's no sex. No sex, then I would make sure that the swearing is kept way down. I always love like do you guys remember 30 Rock and how Liz Lemon, who was Tina Fey's character, she would say things like blurg, things like that. So if you have no sex, then you can use sort of light swearing or swear replacements. But I wouldn't like have your characters drop in the F-bomb. Well, maybe one if that's the kind of character they are, but probably not. So people who prefer books with no with closed door romance generally prefer less swearing as well. All right. Avi says Odin is named after the god of war and death. You'd better give him attention. True. He shall not be denied. Okay. So let's go ahead and I just inhaled a tiny little hair. Excuse me, that was attached to my head. It just went anyway. Okay, so that's kind of gross. And let's go ahead and do a sprint now. We're going to just pop that 20-minute one up. Here we go, everybody. So here we go. On our second sprint of the day, we're going to make these words happen. I'm feeling really good about it. Let's get those to-do lists done and those words written. Here we go, everybody. Getting started in 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. All right. Oh, hold on. I accidentally. There we go. Sorry, I muted. I accidentally muted Robert when I was trying to unmute Michelle. So how'd everybody do on that last sprint?
I did well. It's good to be back on my own stuff.
Isn't it?
Awesome.
I know. I had that same exact feeling when I had sort of an extended stint. Oh, I just got like a fireplace video after that. All right. Sorry about that. So I had that same sort of reaction. I had been on like kind of a long stint where I was working on a bunch of client stuff, and then I had a bunch of my stuff that I had to hurry up and finish before a deadline, and it felt so good to just be thinking about like just for the entire day rather than going back and forth, which is what I normally do. Regina is proofreading like mad. We feel ya. That's great. That's what I'm still working on. And trying to get my book issues. This is the dumbest thing ever. If you are going to a book event and you need to order books for that event, it takes longer on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Book Vault, etc., to get your books to you if you're buying them wholesale versus if you're just ordering them like a customer. And so just plan accordingly. Don't be like me. This is not that I don't know this. It's that the month of April has just flown by. And I had this epiphany yesterday where I was like, oh crap, I have not ordered books. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. So, which also added to my freak out. Okay. So good. Regina's proofing like mad. I'm super, super glad to hear that. Fantastic. So couple of cool things came up, and I do want to talk if anybody has more advice on or different advice on what to do when you feel like your to-do list is going to like attack you in your sleep. There were some kind of interesting things that have come up in publishing lately, and that one of them is Drafted Digital has just partnered with, let me see if I can find who it is, Fable. And Fable is a book club app. And so you have to request it directly from Drafted Digital at this point. But Fable has like 25,000 book clubs, 650,000 members. And it has, that app is this sort of integrated bookstore thing. It's actually I think it's going to be really great for anybody who distributes through Drafted Digital. So just keep an eye out for that. Reach out to the folks at Drafted Digital to see if you can get involved. And it's something kind of cool. I love what they're doing over there. They're always partnering with new and different companies, and I think what they've done for indies has been really phenomenal. Lisa, you are making me nostalgic for book events. I have not done a reader event in a really long time. And that's part of the reason. Like, I know I have a checklist. I have like a conference box. I am normally so buttoned up with this stuff. And part of it for readers it's my first year. I have no idea what to expect. Part of it's just, I've just been completely overwhelmed with my to-do list over the last couple of months. And so I've not been really great about doing all the stuff that I need to do for that. And part of it is you sort of forget these things like, oh yeah, you got to order your books way early. So in order to make sure you have them on time. And at Reader's Take Denver, like the thing is you have to have like a special cover or special edition. And so like trying to manage all that has been kind of fun. But I too am nostalgic for reader events, which is why I am doing this one. I'm super excited. Plus I have family in Denver, so I'm really excited to see everybody. All right. Regina says, I think those days are behind me. Way too much walking for me these days. I totally get that. Get a little scooter, little motorized scooter. There's Regina. So it's 12:20. If we hurry, we could get 2 more sprints in. If we dibble dabble around, we will not. I don't have. We usually have more questions, and I did not have a bunch of questions this week because, again, see aforementioned to-do list. So let's go ahead and set up for another sprint. And then when we come back, we'll see what we've got. So does that sound good to you guys?
Sounds
Yes.
good.
I'm like, work. We must all work. All right. But we're having fun. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and do our next 20-minute sprint. Take that deep breath. We've got this. All right, here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint. All right, we are back. So that went by so fast.
It did. That's so fast. Oh
Super
my god.
fast. Super fast. All right, I'm going to check our chat and our questions here. If we don't have much going on, we are going to go right back in and do one more sprint.
Yes.
Oh, we don't, unless StreamYard's messing us up again. We do not have another one. So take a quick vote. Who wants to go for another quick sprint? Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
All right, everybody. We're just going to make this happen. All right. Here we
Yay.
go. I know it's rare, right? We don't usually get all the way through
Yeah.
4 sprints.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. But I mean, like I said this morning, like my to-do list is long and I'm on a roll. Here we go, everybody. Let's get started. I hope you're on a roll too. And we're going to do our very last sprint starting in 3, 2, 1. Make it count. We did it. We got 4 sprints in. I'm so proud of us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I really got a ton. Like, this was so helpful for me today because, as you guys know, I was stressing out about my to-do list, and I got a big chunk of work done today. So bless the streams, man. I love that. I love that. Well, I hope you guys all got a bunch of work done too. We're a couple minutes over, and so we're going to go ahead and wrap up really quickly instead of taking more questions. But before we go, I want to say we will not be having, which I did not. Hi, surprise, Michelle and Robert. We will not be. Sorry, we won't be having a stream next week because I will be jetting off to Denver for Readers Take Denver. Yay! I'm super excited about that. So, so we won't be doing that. But anyway, we will be back in 2 weeks. Before we go, Michelle, please tell us a little about you and your fabulous, wonderful channel before we go today.
All right, I'm Michelle Schusterman. I write young adult and middle grade novels, and my channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Vlogs.
Thank you so much for being here today. Robert, tell us a little about you and your channel before we head out today.
My channel is The Story Detective, where I take various forms of storytelling and put it under a Sherlockian microscope to break down the craft for the viewer and hopefully make their journey easier.
Thanks so much, Robert. You're awesome. Hi, I'm Lisa Daly. I write romantic comedy and nonfiction advice, including that gigantic new book cover I'm super excited about. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. Thanks, everybody, so much for being here today. I hope you were insanely productive.
It was
And we will see you guys back here in 2 weeks. Yay!
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Back again until next time.
That's